two old guys that ain't taking their crap no more. You're listening to Earl and George.
Hello, America 2018. How are y'all? Yes, we broadcast from the South. Welcome to Earl and George, Aged Conservative Talk, a weekly wrap-up show. And literally the only one you need to listen to if you want a bunch of humor and perfectly executed political analysis by two guys who barely graduated from college. And a producer. Look on his face. He didn't like that joke.
What?
He wasn't even listening. Good.
No,
it's
I was
Earl
listening.
And George.
I was listening.
Age Conservative Talk. My name is George.
And I'm Earl.
And that's Mr. Producer. How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Haven't seen y'all in a week.
Nope. I'm fighting the sinus infection.
You got it this week.
Yeah.
I was coming out of it last week. Of course, starting a new year, we got a new leaf to turn over, as it is. And in my yard, about 100 billion new leaves to turn over. But thankfully, I have children.
Yeah, right.
And money. So guess what happens to the leaves in my yard?
You pay the kids to do
I
it.
pay the kids to do it. That's right.
See, I just pay somebody else to do it.
Well, your kids aren't old enough yet.
I've got an 18-year-old.
Once your 17 children grow up,
she's not going to do it.
They can bag their. Oh, my daughters are like, Dad, I need some money. I was like, yeah, we all.
Yeah, right.
They're like, what can I do? I said, you can get up on the house and clean them gutters and rake the yard.
Yeah, I had to do that. That was
$5 a bag. What do you think? Is that fair? Is that fair? $5 a bag?
Sure. If you're in Russia.
What?
In China. That's
I've
slave labor.
Little leaf mowing sweatshop going on at the George household.
I mean, come on now. I mean, minimum wage is like $8.50, $8.75.
Hey man,
minimum wage.
Hey man,
minimum wage is $7.25.
They were like, Dad, what about $5 a bag? I was like, absolutely, honey, absolutely.
So they offered.
Well, then again, they did the entire yard. She made $55.
Wow.
Are you sure? I think minimum wage is $8 something.
No, it's $7.25.
It's $15. Let's be honest. That's what the Dems want.
That's what everybody wants.
That's what the liberals want.
Because last time I checked, I thought it was $8.
How was your weekend? How was your week?
It's been good except for the sinus.
Except for the
stuff.
cold.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of sniffling a little bit, but I'm getting out of the body. Mr. Producer, how was your week?
It was good.
Raise your hand if you lived through a 4.4 magnitude earthquake. Anybody? I'm the only one raising my hand.
Wait, I may have. I don't know. I might have, because I was in California. I was in a couple of earthquakes.
Where were you? No. Well, that's true. I'm talking about this past week.
Okay, no.
If you did anybody listening live through? If you were in California in the Bay Area over last week, then you too survived the minor earthquake. And 4.4 is really not that big a deal, but for those of us that don't experience, or for those of you that don't experience an earthquake, it is a jarring reminder of how puny we are in the universe.
Right.
It really is. My entire building basically was lifted up 6 inches and then dropped 6 inches. That's what it felt like.
Were you at work or were you at
home? No, it was 2:30 in the morning. I was racked out, and it just felt like I'm not kidding. If you could imagine lying in bed, the bed gets lifted off the floor 6 inches and then dropped.
Huh.
That's what it felt like. None of this side-to-side swaying stuff. It just boom, and you're like, I lived.
Thanks, God.
Thank you. Thanks for that. So, of course, everybody, the elevators were all shut down, and I had to take the service elevator down.
Oh, that
building.
sucks.
I know.
White privilege.
I was like, what in the world? Are they going to make
your
me,
white privilege.
Are they going to make me walk
right?
14 flights down to street level? Seriously.
You were living the Wally dream.
I took the service elevator down, but luckily I don't think anybody got hurt. It was in Berkeley, and I live downtown San Francisco, so only 6 months of the year. The other 6 months of the year, I live in the great state of Alabama. Roll Tide.
Yes, sir.
Coming up on the national championship.
Age Conservative Talk.
There it is.
Earl and George. War Eagle.
You got the wrong one. You got the wrong one there, buddy.
No, I got the right one.
You got the wrong one. Georgia and Alabama going to be facing each other in the college football playoffs. Now, a lot of people mad that Alabama's there.
Of course they are.
A lot of people are mad that they were even in the top four. And when I say a lot of people, I mean basically everyone in Ohio
or Auburn.
Auburn. See, here's the thing about Auburn. For those of you that don't know, Auburn beat the number one team in the country last season twice. They beat Georgia and Alabama, both number one in the country, and then lost.
Right.
Right. They were not in the top four, and then lost to Central Florida in the Peach Bowl, I think it is.
and now they're having to watch the two teams that they
they beat play each other. Yeah,
for the championship.
That's the gist of it.
Yep.
The two teams that Auburn beat are playing for the national championship, which is hilarious to me because I'm an Alabama fan. I roll tide. Now we do have some Georgia fans. Okay,
Yep. My wife is a Georgia alum.
My wife is an Auburn fan, but she's rooting for Georgia, obviously, of course. And one of my best friends, a Georgia fan, does a show here at the radio station. I asked him. I said, "Hey man, I'll come over to your house. You can come over to my house. We both have giant TVs. We can man cave it and just watch the show." And he said the last time I had an opposing quote fan friend come over to watch a Georgia football game, he said he lost his Jesus.
Wow.
Now this guy's a pastor. He's like, I lost it. I was like, okay, I'll just watch it at my house.
you
watch
stay
it.
over there.
You watch it at your house. We'll text each other, right? So
wow.
Yeah, it was really funny. But it's going to be a good game, and I don't know that Georgia has what it takes. To be honest with you,
I don't either.
I don't think they have what it takes. But who knows? It's football, and I never expected Alabama to lose to Auburn. I mean, it's college football. These are two great teams, the two best teams in the country. So.
Yep.
Especially after Alabama trounced Clemson. Thank you for that.
Yep. Negative yardage for most of the game.
The first quarter of the game, Clemson had -8 yards.
Yep.
That's overall. That's passing and running.
Yep.
Like they had -8 yards, and that's the Alabama defense that I'm used to. And and if Alabama defense brings that against Georgia, I don't know what they're going to do. Now, if you're a football fan, if you're a college football fan, like we obviously are, and you watch the Georgia-Oklahoma game, man alive, I thought Oklahoma was going to run away with it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of the Oklahoma quarterback.
No.
The Heisman Trophy winner. I've already forgot his name.
I'm having to look it up.
Anyway, but man, what a great game that was! Back and forth, double overtime. I mean, it was fantastic. And then to win it in double overtime, just that's the way playoffs are supposed to be. Baker Mayfield. Great football player, but he reminds me of Johnny Football. Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Who just crashed and burned. Baker Mayfield reminds me of him with the attitude.
Got to get a chance to watch it.
And I may be wrong, but that was a great football game to watch. It really was. Now, coming up on today's show, it is aged conservative talk, which means we are going to talk about Krispy Kreme donuts.
Why?
We'll get to it.
Wow. That just came out of the blue.
We're also going to talk politics, obviously. We're going to talk Disney princes, and we're going to talk about Germany. So basically, this is a show about American politics and a wrap-up show. And this week, we're going to talk about another country, made-up people, and donuts. So
wow.
That's all coming up on Earl and George. Now, I want to start with Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon's been in the news a lot this past week. There's a story coming out, a book coming out where an interview was given to Wolf. His name's Wolf, right? The writer of the book. Yeah. Can you pull up a picture of him? Pull up a picture of this guy, Wolf. People make fun of the president and, his hair and his skin and so on. But when you see this guy, your targets will move away from Trump and to like if you're so vain as to go after people by the way they look, this guy deserves mocking. Have you pulled up a look?
I don't know if this is him or not.
Let me see. That's the dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just take a minute and let that sink in.
Michael Wolff.
Michael Wolff. He's written a book, it's Fire and Fury, Inside the Trump White House, I think is the name of it. And Trump is refuting these things. Tony Blair, former Prime Minister of Great Britain, is refuting some of the things in the book. Steve Bannon is refuting some of the things in the book.
Why is Blair?
Because apparently this book is not 100% truthful. Now, of course, the media is going to run with it that the Trump White House is imploding and Bannon and Trump hate each other. And they had a big Twitter thing go back and forth last week. So I can understand some of that. But there are people that have been mentioned in the book that are totally refuting what this guy's writing. And it's not just Trump. Trump sent him a cease and desist order because apparently it's so untruthful, the stuff that's coming out in the book, which is fine. I don't care. I'm not going to read the book. But I'm more interested in the interplay between Trump and Bannon.
Right.
Now, Bannon is back at the helm of Breitbart News. And thank you. I'm glad Ben Shapiro left.
Yeah.
Because Ben Shapiro is a straight-up guy, hilarious, brilliant. I met him, 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. He came to the radio station in Los Angeles, and I got to meet Ben. And I've sent him many, many requests to come on the show. He's just too busy.
Right.
I mean, he literally just sends me a text message back and says, sorry, Gene, I can't do it. George. It's a long story. Go back and listen to show number 2. We'll talk about that one. So I'm glad he left Breitbart, and he's now doing his thing.
Stayed on his principles.
Podcast. He's a fantastic guy.
Because Breitbart's not even what Breitbart created anymore.
No,
what
it's not.
Andy created. So
No. And, of course, if you don't know the backstory of Breitbart, I think he died of cancer or something. He died
had
of a heart attack.
He had a heart attack. Well, air quotes, heart attack.
Yeah.
The CIA killed him.
Who's the other guy at it was Steve Bannon, who, by the way, I used to listen to before he joined the Trump campaign, his radio show. He's fairly solid on the radio show. And then he joined the Trump campaign and lost it.
Yeah. He started going way
Stephen
alt-right.
K. Bannon.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you look at his face and you don't expect his voice to be that. It's really strange. His voice is way up here like this. But there's another guy at Breitbart that I can't remember who it is.
Is he a staffer?
It's not the NRA guy. He took over the radio show.
You're not talking about Milo, are you?
No. Not he's Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only other one that I know that got big.
So, these guys over at Breitbart, I don't really use them as a news source anymore because Stephen K. Bannon kind of lost it when he left the White House. And this interplay between Trump and Bannon on Twitter because of this book thing, there's something wrong, right? It just doesn't feel right.
Something's off.
Something's off about it. And I don't know what it is. And I guess we're all going to figure out what it is as time goes on. It's amazing that the stuff comes out. Bannon talks about Trump. Trump talks about Bannon. Then Bannon, in Twitter, then he shows up on the news and he's like, I'm totally about the Trump agenda. I'm out here working every day for the Trump agenda. Like they're buddies. Something is off about this whole thing. And we'll find out what it is as this story progresses. The Clintons are back in the news.
Yay.
So we'll talk about them for the next 14 hours.
Wow.
On Earl and George, Age Conservative Talk. Go out to our Twitter, go out to our Facebook, go out to our website, earlandgeorge.com. Like, share, do all of that social media stuff. But more importantly, be right back here in about 60 seconds. It's Earl and George, Age Conservative Talk.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You're bringing your daughter to a pop concert. Do you A, wear earplugs?
Isn't this fun, Dad?
I'll have a soft pretzel.
Or B, just roll with it?
Justin! OMG! I love you, Justin! I love you!
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Earl and George, Aged Conservative Talk.
Uh-huh. Yes, you are. You're one of the lucky ones. Because you know where to find us on Spreaker every Saturday, almost every Saturday at 12 o'clock Central Time, because we broadcast from the great state of Alabama Roll Tide. And then, of course, if you download our mobile app, it's free, right? The Earl and George mobile app, you can download that from iTunes and Google Play, or find us on SoundCloud. And by the way, we got some interesting analytics from SoundCloud, didn't we, Earl?
Yes, we have. Apparently, we have a large following out in the Middle East.
Welcome all my friends from Hezbollah and Hamas and ISIL and ISIS.
What do they call it when they put a hit on you?
Not intifada. That's a holy decree.
We'll probably have one.
But look at it. What is that? What is that called? Let me look that up. Holy.
I won't be able to say it.
Holy death threat. I'm just gonna look. I'm just gonna Google holy death threat. Nope. Let's see. Islamic. Let's try Islamic holy death threat. Did you and a fatwa?
Yeah.
A fatwa. Bring on the fatwa. I mean, if I had a restaurant change, I'd name a burger that.
You know,
You're like, can I get one of their fatwas? Extra lettuce.
Ben Shapiro's got like 12 of those.
Yeah, whatever. So people in the Middle East are listening. Do we know what country they're listening from? Or occupied territory if you're a leftist that believes Israel's occupying territory?
It didn't really give me the breakdown of the countries as well as I wanted. It was listener profile pictures. And
really?
Yeah, I went on the profile pictures. So I'm kind of.
So you're profiling?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, you racist bastard.
It gave me geographical area, but it didn't give me like the country. So it said Middle East, and then it had people's pictures. And profile pictures.
What in the next 10 seconds can I say that will offend everybody listening in the Middle East?
Shalom.
Shalom, y'all. What's wrong, Mr. Producer's like? He's like, is our security at the radio station not good enough for you or something? What's going on?
No, I already have a couple of those on me anyway.
You got a fat whack.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna cut.
Or am I?
I'm a CC carrier, so
a fat wah. Speaking of fat wahs, Hillary Clinton is back in the news.
Wow.
The Justice Department is launching a new what?
She's the biggest.
She's the biggest fat wah
wah
I've seen in a long time. Fat wah.
Yep.
I thought about the next dog I get. I'm going to name it Mohammed. So every time I kick it, I feel better. But I need rim shots.
No, that does not deserve a rim shot. No.
What?
No.
Oh, come on.
He's not actually going to kick a dog.
I'm not going to kick
Don't call the
dog.
That's wrong on
ASPCA
several levels.
or PETA. Don't call PETA.
The Justice Department, and right now people are listening and like, damn.
What did I turn into?
What the hell is going on? The Justice Department is launching a new investigation into the Clinton Foundation and examining whether the charitable foundation promoted, quote, pay-to-play politics and other illegal activities while Hillary Clinton was serving as Secretary of State. This is going to be a very short investigation. The answer is yes. Yes, she did. Yes, they did. Multiple people need to go to prison. Can I just say that? Can I say that out loud? I just did. If you're listening from the NSA, and we know you're listening from the NSA, can you just get it over with and put her in prison already? Please?
It's not going to happen.
The FBI, law enforcement officials, and a witness, this is part of the fake news, told The Hill that the investigation is examining whether the charitable foundation promoted pay-to-play politics. The FBI agents from Little Rock, Arkansas are leading the investigation, according to the report. Part of the investigation centers on whether donors were given leverage to influence government policies or special access to important decision makers in the Obama administration. Yes, they were. It's amazing how the American people know this, but we have to go through a government investigation to just say that they did. Also under review is whether, quote, tax-exempt assets were converted for personal or political use and whether the foundation complied with applicable tax laws. I don't know. Does Bill Clinton warrant a $500,000 speech
in
honorarium from Russia?
Right.
A witness interviewed by the FBI told The Hill that questions centered on whether foundation donors received favorable treatment from the Obama administration. Yes, they did. We know this. Why are we having an investigation? Don't we have documents that prove this already?
Well, they want to dot the I's and cross their T's, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, like Comey did.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then it doesn't matter what I you dot and T you cross. Somebody's going to come along and edit it so it's not a legal term.
Yep.
FBI declined to offer an official comment. Nick Merrill, chief spokesman for Hillary Clinton, called the reopening of the investigation disgraceful. He also said it's nothing but a distraction from the investigation into alleged Russia ties with President Donald Trump.
Of course.
Now, okay, just as a question, for those of you listening in Pakistan that follow U.S. politics, which do you think we have more evidence of? Hillary Clinton's pay-to-play at the Clinton Foundation or ties to Russia with the Trump campaign?
Hillary Clinton.
There is no yet to this day, after over almost a year of investigation, we have zero evidence. You even hired lawyers, Mr. Mueller, who, by the way, was the FBI director under the former administration while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. You were the FBI director. Now you're special counsel from the past administration. You're now investigating the current administration, and you hire who? A bunch of Clinton lawyers who donated to her campaign and had affairs with other people at the FBI who sent text messages back and forth talking about how you can't have him as the president of the United States and will do anything whatsoever, including Plan B, whatever that is, to stop him winning the election. You are the people that can't find any evidence at all of Russia collusion. None. Zero.
Yep.
Did I just succinctly lay that out for you, America and Pakistan, in the last 20 seconds? Almost a year of investigation by people who hate him can't find any evidence.
Yep.
But
they arrested what's his name?
What they found evidence of is possible. They found evidence of lying to Congress, lying to the FBI by a couple people before they joined the campaign. And also there was something else, some dealings with Manafort and the Russians prior to him joining the campaign, which, by the way, Manafort has now sued Mueller,
right,
saying that he's outside of the scope of his investigation, and he sued Rosenstein, deputy director of the FBI. Any questions? Anybody? They can't find what they say they're looking for. When at some point you have to close the investigation and say, we didn't find anything, but you spent how many millions of dollars finding nothing?
They're not going to close it. They're going to keep dragging it out his entire campaign or his entire.
At what
presidency.
point do we close this? The investigation by Comey into the Hillary Clinton email server, which, by the way, he even admitted there was classified information.
Yep.
He counted the number of emails that she specifically sent outside of a secure network to an insecure network. Violation. That is against the law. How do you know that, George? Because I had a secret clearance. I know all the training I went through to get a secret clearance on how to handle classified material. I know a guy. Ready for this? When I was in Afghanistan, I know a guy who sent one email, on our company email, not our secure email, but our company email. He sent it from our location in Afghanistan. We were working for some pretty high-level operators. From our location in Afghanistan, in our internal company email back to the United States. It was flagged by our company in D.C. He was literally removed from the country by the end of the day.
Wow.
Because that had classified material on it. One email, one instance of spillage, one instance of spillage. He was literally removed from his position and taken out of the country under guard in one day.
Because he's not a Clinton.
Hillary Clinton had thousands of emails.
It's also come out that her aide, that Huma Abedin, when her husband got arrested for the latest child pornography thing he was doing, a lot of her emails were on that computer, and a lot of those were classified too.
Not only that, but she also gave away her passwords over Yahoo, which was then hacked.
Which is crazy.
Right? Okay. Hey, I want you to log into my computer, Mr. Producer, my ultra secret, super secret, top secret computer government thing that nobody has access to ever. By the way, I'm just going to email you my username and password, okay, bro?
All right, cool.
Okay, nothing bad could come from that.
Of course
right?
not.
Let's call this what it is. Quote, Merrill said, it's a sham. Quote, this is a philanthropy that does life-changing work, which Republicans have tried to turn into a political football. It began with the now long-debunked project spearheaded by Steve Bannon during the presidential campaign. It continues with Jeff Sessions during Trump's bidding by heeding his calls to meddle with the department that is supposed to function independently, end quote. Okay, whoa. You've got the unmitigated gall to talk about meddling with a government department that's supposed to be functionally independent, and you work for Hillary frickin' Clinton?
Right.
Are you kidding me? She's the definition of government meddling.
Yep.
By the way, her backhanded way of taking over the DNC financially, by way of her stealing and modifying an election result away from a primary that Bernie Sanders could have won. And you talk about government meddling?
What good has the foundation done, though? Talking about all the work they were supposed to do.
Made a lot of people
Puerto Rico.
rich. Look at Haiti. Go look at their record in Haiti.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Haiti, not Puerto Rico.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were supposed to build what they say, like 5 houses, and they didn't. They ended up building like 1 total.
They for hundreds of millions of dollars, people were paid to do nothing.
This whole charity, the Clinton Foundation's been under investigation since they opened it.
Clinton Foundation spokesman Craig Minison said the new investigation won't stop the charity from continuing its work. Quote, time after time, the Clinton Foundation has been subjected to... something just popped into my head. You ever notice that the people that lecture America, they lecture us, right? On white privilege, on the rich and the evils, and how the middle class is getting screwed and all this other stuff. You ever notice how they're the ones doing exactly what they say they're against?
That's not right. That can't be right.
Bernie Sanders is out there like, we got these rich people and blah, blah, blah. And which one of your 3 mansions are you hanging out in?
Or he demands that we pay people $15 an hour while he pays his interns less than $6 or $8 an hour.
Clinton's out there talking about white privilege, and her daughter gets a $900,000 job the day after she graduates college.
Right, in $1 million apartment.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay, quote, time after time, the Clinton Foundation has been subjected to politically motivated allegations, and time after time, these allegations have been proven false. No, they haven't been proven false. The allegations are credible, Mr. Minizian.
They've never made it to court, so how could they be proven false?
The allegations are always stopped because either the witness shoots himself in the back of the head
twice,
or an investigation is done, and some photos of the person doing the investigation and a naked boy come out, and all of a sudden, there's no investigation anymore. None of this has, I'm continuing the quote, none of this has made us waver in our mission to help people, Minijian told The Hill. The Clinton Foundation has demonstrably improved the lives of millions of people across America and around the world while earning top ratings from charity watchdog groups in the process, end quote. Name one.
Right.
I would love to get him on the phone. Just like, tell me what you do. Tell me what you do, and let me do the research on it. Because if the Clinton Foundation does good, then I'll give them credit for doing good. But right now, the Clinton Foundation is a slush fund for the Clintons. You can't tell me that this money doesn't pass through. If anything, it is a giant money laundering scam for the Clinton family.
And they've made hundreds of millions of dollars through that, too. Hundreds of millions.
Believe me, you have no understanding and no frame of reference, George. Really? I run a nonprofit. I am the president and CEO of a nonprofit. So eat it. I know what a nonprofit does, and I know where that money is. By the way, did you know, as a nonprofit, all of their tax records must be public record? If you search Clinton Foundation 990, I guarantee you'll find it. It's called a 990 form. Try Clinton Foundation 990 and see if their tax records are available. In November, Justice Department leaders indicated they would revisit some of the issues investigated during the Obama years. In part, the renewed focus on the Clinton Foundation was reportedly spurred by repeated tweets from President Donald Trump, who referred to the crooked Clintons. Multiple media outlets have reported numerous stories about how donations to the Clinton Foundation seem to happen about the same time favorable decisions were made by Hillary Clinton's State Department. Conservative author Peter Schweitzer wrote the foundation in his book, Clinton Cash. The book provided ammunition for a call into a new investigation. Hill noted, in addition, Wall Street Journal in November that several FBI offices, including Little Rock, have been gathering information on the Clinton for more than a year. The investigation of the Clinton Foundation ended with a thud in 2016. It ended partly because Justice Department officials feared that it might appear investigators were trying to hurt Clinton's presidential bid. Who gives a crap? If it's wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't matter. And I'll tell you right now, I'll be the first one to throw Donald Trump under the bus if he did collude with the Russians. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. If you can't find any evidence of him colluding, guess what? No body, no murder. He didn't do it. And we have mountains of evidence against the Clinton Foundation, against Hillary Clinton herself, and you're like, you're just bashing her. Yeah, you know why? I got 2 more stories to read with her name in it. Tell me something's not wrong. Earl and George, Aged Conservative Talk. Join us on Spreaker.com. Download our mobile app and go to our website. The store is up if you want to buy some crap. It's EarlAndGeorge.com. Let's go check it out. We'll be right back.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi, sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
You know you're in the South when everyone calls you darling or hun or sweetheart and you don't care. You're listening to Aged Conservative Talk. Earl and George.
Yeah. According to the Clinton Foundation 990, they raised $12,000, $238, $12,208 in membership dues. $12,238. They had $8.9 million in government grants.
Wow.
Here's the scary part. All other contributions, gifts, grants, and similar amounts not included above, $86.5 million. But total revenue for, this was 2015, the latest one I found, $108 million, giving them total assets of $359 million. But there's one in here that's very, very interesting, and it is, I'm trying to find it.
What's this big section that's blanked out?
I don't know. So part 9, line 5, benefits paid 2 or 4 members, 0. Ready? Compensation for current officers, directors, trustees, and key. Anybody want to know what that is? Compensation.
What the total is?
Total compensation paid to their officers.
I'm going to say $20 million.
$2.4 million. And their total salaries and wages, $26,000,000.
Oh, wow.
$896,425.
Wow.
They also have $1.4 million in pensions. And here's my favorite one. Other employee benefits, $4.6 million. Like, I don't know, private jets and things like that. They have $1.7 million in investments and other. It's line G. Line 11G is other. $8.8 million in other. They spend $11 million on conferences, conventions, and meetings. Just keep going. Total functional expenses, $98 million.
Wow.
Dude, somebody has to look into this.
$100 million.
Somebody has to look into this. I'm telling you. And by the way, I mean, they got, putting out, they had $150 million in buildings and land and equipment costs. I mean, this is a monster organization. Total revenue, $116 million. Total net unrealized gains, $332 million. Net assets, $346 million. The Clinton Foundation. So wait a minute. If you're a nonprofit and you're doing all this great work, why are you sitting on $346 million cash?
Right.
Why do you have $346 million cash in the bank if your total operating expenses is a third of that? What are you not spending this money on?
Haiti.
Haiti, exactly. All right, 2 more. And by the way, you can go to, I think it's 990 Finder or something like that. You can look up my nonprofit. I don't care. But yeah,
it's 990finder.foundationcenter.org.
As a nonprofit, our tax documents are for public record, and I am very proud that if you go to compensation of officers on my nonprofit, you will find $0. Nobody makes money in my nonprofit. Well, I mean, it's not true. I'm not going to say nobody makes money. None of our officers make money. We have to, we have bills, so we pay people. Okay, so breaking news. Senators make criminal referral to DOJ under Trump dossier. Republican Senators Lindsey Graham and Chuck Grassley of Iowa Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, former presidential candidate, made a criminal referral Friday to the Department of Justice for Christopher Steele, the author of the controversial Trump dossier. Former British spy is being accused of making inconsistent statements to officials, some of which may entail criminal violations. Quote, I don't like lightly making a referral for criminal investigation, Grassley said in a statement, but as I would with any credible evidence of a crime unearthed in the course of our investigations, I feel obliged to pass this information along to the Justice Department for appropriate review. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you might not follow politics the way Earl and I do. This is a very important statement. I'm going to read it again, and I want you to think back to James Comey's testimony before Congress. Let me read this again. This is from Chuck Grassley. I don't take lightly making a referral for criminal investigation, Grassley said in a statement, but as I would with any credible evidence of a crime unearthed in the course of our investigations, I feel obliged to pass that information along to the Justice Department for appropriate review, end quote. Now, go back to when James Comey was sitting in front of Congress and listed all of the things and crimes that Hillary Clinton committed and were unearthed during his own investigation, only to say no credible person would bring charges against Hillary Clinton, or I'm paraphrasing, something like that.
She didn't willingly break the law.
Well, he said nobody would bring charges against her because of these violations,
Right.
even though they were violations of federal law. Right?
Right. Double standard.
Right, exactly. But here's the nice thing. We have the moral high ground, because if we have credible evidence of a crime unearthed in the course of an investigation, you are obliged to give that information to the Department of Justice for appropriate review. The director of the FBI did not do that. Now, tell me again how he wasn't protecting Hillary Clinton from investigation. He wasn't helping her campaign, any. I'll grant you that.
Right.
But he was certainly helping her when they changed the language from extremely careless to extremely careless from grossly negligent.
Yeah.
The original thing that he wrote when in his testimony to Congress said grossly negligent. For all my lawyer friends out there, that's a legal term and a violation and makes you liable if you are grossly negligent. They took out the word grossly negligent. They put in extremely careless, which is not legally binding in court. Tell me again he wasn't protecting Hillary Clinton. The senators notified Deputy Director Rod Rosenstein and FBI Director Christopher Wray of their referral. The controversial dossier documented supposed damaging information on Donald Trump that was in possession of the Russian government and could allegedly be used to blackmail or otherwise influence him as president. Critics allege that the dossier was fake and created for the sake of being used as justification for the Obama administration to surveil Trump and his associates for political reasons before the election. These charges are being investigated by the Congressional Committee and Mueller. Senator Dianne Feinstein said she wasn't notified of the criminal referral. Quote, I wasn't consulted about this referral, nor were any of my Democratic colleagues. Well, no crap, Dianne. My mother's senator. Are you kidding me? I cannot understand why it would be necessary for members of Congress to make a criminal referral to the FBI concerning information we know the FBI already has, said Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat of Rhode Island.
Wow.
Because you're obliged to. Interestingly enough, the question still remains, was the fake Trump dossier used to get a FISA warrant to wiretap Trump Tower? This is bigger than Watergate. This is the largest political scandal in my lifetime.
Yep.
If fake information, if lies put together and paid for by Hillary Clinton and the DNC and exposed by them to CNN, who refused to take the story, but gave it to Politico, who ran with it. If that fake information bought and paid for by the Democrats was used as a basis to wiretap a presidential candidate? Well, are you kidding me?
Right.
Many, many, many people need to go to prison. Many people. G. Gordon Liddy spent time in prison because of the Watergate scandal.
Yep.
Right? The what was it? The committee to reelect the president. Creep. Right? If people are like, what is he talking about? Okay, Google creep. Committee to Reelect the President. That was the group, that was the organization that broke in to the Democrat offices at the Watergate Hotel. You got to go do your research. Most people are like, "What?" I guarantee you, everybody listening right now has no idea what creep is.
Right.
It's my brain.
It didn't happen the way it did in Forrest Gump.
It's my brain. If you do that, now G. Gordon Liddy was one of those men. Okay, he spent time in prison. This story is much bigger.
Yes.
Much bigger. And here's why. Because the government denied wiretapping Trump Tower. It turns out now that we know they did. They wiretapped Paul Manafort while he was working for Clinton, for Trump, at Trump Tower. And they possibly used this information from Christopher Steele, who made up a bunch of crap, put it in a Trump dossier for Fusion GPS, gave it to the Democrats who bought and paid for it, then used it to get a wiretap warrant through FISA for a presidential candidate. Lots of people go to prison. Lots.
They should.
This is not going away for a long time. Not going away for a long time, because here's the story number 3. Members of the House Intelligence Committee. After a subpoena from Congress for months, the Bank of Fusion GPS has finally handed over financial records on Friday. Lawyers of the House Representatives announced that TD Bank had produced all, quote, remaining responsive documents to the House Intelligence Committee. The company was hired by the Washington Free Beacon during the primaries to dig up opposition research on Donald Trump, a candidate at the time, other presidential hopefuls. When they abandoned the project, the DNC later continued the funding, which eventually led to the production of the infamous Trump dossier by former British spy Christopher Steele. The dossier is alleged by many of Trump's allies to have been created purely for the sake of providing the Obama administration a pretense for illegally surveilling Trump and his associates before the election.
Wow. Like, even we brought it up on the show.
That's Watergate stuff.
Yeah.
The dossier is alleged by, okay, I already read that part. Fusion GPS argued that handing over their financial documents would leave them vulnerable to having their clients exposed through leaks. The judge disagreed with them and ordered them to follow the subpoena. Quote, there is a significant risk of leaks from the investigation, and leaks have already resulted in retaliation against a senior Justice Department attorney's whose wife, a Russia expert, has done work for Fusion GPS in the past. Now, that itself was a story a couple weeks ago where the wife of a senior Justice Department official worked for Fusion GPS on the dossier.
Right.
Really? I don't know. Conflict of interest? Does anybody want to look up the definition of conflict of interest? Although TD Bank says it has handed over all documents, lawyers for Fusion GPS say they will continue to fight the investigation by the committee. Instead of focusing on efforts on Russia meddling in the presidential election, the committee is misusing its investigatory powers to punish and smear Fusion GPS for its role in examining ties between Trump and Russia. Their lawyers said the committee is violating Fusion's First Amendment and due process rights, and we intend to continue seeking the process to protect those rights, end quote. So, just in great democratic fashion, in great liberal fashion, they're going to make it about constitutional rights, about your rights. It's about your rights to not give over your banking records to the government.
Even though you've been subpoenaed to do so.
Even though you've been subpoenaed in a court of law, and you know you did something wrong. Like, this is my favorite thing, right? You know, who said that if you don't tell any lies, it's much easier to remember all the lies you told? Right? Right? You don't have to keep making lies up to cover your lies. That's all this situation is. It really is. After almost a year of investigation, we have zero evidence. What we have is actual Russia collusion by the DNC, by Hillary Clinton campaign, through Fusion GPS, through Michael Steele, a former British spy who worked with the Russians to make up stuff about Donald Trump. But what does everybody focus on? Trump's son had a meeting
with a Russian.
Yep. Is that illegal? No. Absolutely not illegal.
A.G. Sessions met with some of them, too, and then lied about it. That's all they're focused on.
Now, here's the deal. There wasn't anything illegal in what they did. Nothing.
No.
Nothing. Why are you still investigating this?
And
Why are we not focused on the truth?
It's still claiming that our election was somehow hacked. That's.
I guarantee you the Russians, when we come back, we'll talk about election hacking. We're going to go off script here. It's Earl and George, Aged Conservative Talk. When we come back, we still have to talk about Krispy Kreme. We still have to talk about Disney and Germany. Those are all coming up next hour. But when we come back, we'll talk about Russian hacking in our election.
Ranger Station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Welcome back to The Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, and of course, companionship. Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
Fantastic cat. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Mama always said that if you keep playing with it, it'll fall off. You're listening to Earl and George.
Not true? Play with it all the time. Earl and George, Aged Conservative Talk. Did the Russians hack our elections?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why not?
Because it's impossible.
Exactly.
It's impossible to hack every electoral system that we or every election center that we have.
But did they hack our election?
I don't think so.
Yes, and I say yes because but not in the way you think. Obviously, America. Every government tries to influence the elections of every other country.
Oh yeah.
And if they were going to hack our election, they would have to hack 51, I believe, states, right?
Yeah,
that have 51 things. Then you have to get into each county system.
Yep.
Right, because it's done by county. There's no federal election system.
Thank God.
Right. So when people say they want a popular vote, there's no such thing as a popular vote because each state has its own. You have 50 plus small elections. The results of those get added together. Okay, but you can't say, well, she won the national popular vote. No such thing as a national popular vote.
Nobody cares.
And by the way, there's a push for NPV. If you look up NPV, they're like one person, one vote. Now, here's the deal. It's very easy. If you are out there screaming about hacking the election and, we don't know the Russians or anybody can just hack our elections, why are you against voter ID laws?
Right.
Can I just ask the question? If you want one person, one vote, how else are you going to judge one person voting one time? Nobody can answer that question for me. So have the Russians and everybody else try to hack our elections? Absolutely. They might sway one county. Is that going to sway the state? Is that going to? Plus, there's no evidence that they did. There's evidence that they try.
Yeah. Just like Iran and North Korea.
Yeah, we do it to them. I mean, if you don't think our cybersecurity guys are in Washington, D.C. going, man, I'm really going to screw the mullah this time. Of course they do. Right?
Right.
And if it's not those guys, then it's a little guy with a Red Bull sitting next to his laptop, pausing his World of Warcraft game long enough to hack the Syrian, election committee. Okay. Well, man, what should we talk about? Is it E. coli break? E. coli
another one
breakout? Yeah, romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce could be the cause of a dangerous E. coli breakout in Canada and the U.S. At least 58 people have become ill in both countries. During this time of year, and the flu season this year is really bad. How do you tell if it's E. coli? You're still going out both ends, just like the flu, right? Let's see. Oh, since we're coming up on the shutdown,
the government shutdown.
Just remember when the Democrats were all about it's so irresponsible for the Republicans to shut down the government, and
right.
This is what happens when you mismanage and blah blah blah, and when the Democrats were in control and the Republicans were like, guys, we really want to discuss this, and they're like, and the Democrats were holding pat, saying it's their fault they're shutting down the government. Now the roles are reversed, and guess who? They're out there going, we're going to shut down the government because it's the right thing to do. I see, it's such hypocritical bullcrap. I'm just tired of all of it. And why are they doing it this time, Earl?
Because they are pushing for, well, there's two things. You've got the border wall that they don't want to happen, and then DACA. They're
right.
Sticking to DACA.
And they've tied the two together.
Yep.
They've tied the two together. Democrats balked at a set of demands on immigration that President Trump sent Friday in anticipation of a deal on immigration that would make allowances for quote-unquote dreamers to stay in the country. The demand includes, ready? $18 billion for the border wall that became a focus of Trump's campaign promises.
Wow.
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. 7-page document was delivered to senators from Homeland Security Friday. It includes heightened rules for unaccompanied minors arriving into the country, limits on, quote, chain migration, end quote. And according to Senator Dick Durbin, or as we like to call him, Little Dickie Durbin, because that's what everybody else calls him, $18 billion for a border wall. What do you think on that?
Well, I think it's a larger estimate than they first thought, or it's a larger cost than the first estimates.
Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, the taxes that he's going to implement, or the levies he's going to implement on Mexico to get it paid back, I mean, it's like $22 billion that we get back. So
yeah,
whatever.
Sure. I could care less what he does to Mexico, to be honest with you. I really don't. I do not care at all.
Well, I mean,
as long as my cruise ships can still go to Cozumel, I could care less what the president does to Mexico.
Well, what they're going to do, though, what Mexico will do in return is Mexico will start
raising the price of my tacos?
Raising the price of car imports. The car you're driving was probably built majority in Mexico.
Some of the parts were probably built in Mexico.
And General Motors builds almost all of theirs in Mexico.
Shame on you, General Motors.
Yeah.
Well,
it's NAFTA for you.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Also included is an increased enforcement against immigrants who illegally overstay their visas and punishing cities who take a sanctuary city policy to thwart federal enforcement of immigration laws. What do you think about that?
I didn't hear you. I was reading about DACA.
Increased enforcement against immigrants who overstay their visas.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
How do you enforce that, though? It seems very difficult to enforce.
Well,
don't they have to break another law for you to find them first?
I don't think so, because you're supposed to check in.
Oh, but they overstay their visas, so they don't.
Yeah.
They're in the country illegally at that point. Hence, they've broken our laws. What happens to people who break our laws, supposedly?
Nothing anymore.
Nothing, because you're the Clintons.
You're supposed to be deported.
And what do you think about the sanctuary city / sanctuary state debate going on?
Who's doing the state? Is it California?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Huh. I don't. Again, you're rewarding illegal behavior. If you tried to do what we're doing in America, in Mexico, you would be in prison faster than you could blink. If you try to go to Mexico illegally, I encourage anybody to try it. Like the Marine,
dude,
that took the wrong turn.
Hang on, you don't even have to go there illegally. Go to Mexico accidentally.
Right.
Accidentally drive into Mexico. I guarantee you'll be in prison.
Yep.
There's no. Oh man, sorry, bro. Yeah, just make a U-turn. Just head on back a couple of feet. You'll be fine. No. You accidentally show up in Mexico, you're going to prison.
Yeah, the Marine, what was his name?
I don't know.
The guy that was there for like 180 days or something?
Yeah, but he had a gun in his car, so he made a wrong turn.
But he was out hunting.
Yep.
So, I mean, but yeah, he went left when he should have gone right.
Durbin angrily denounced the suggested deal. Quote, President Trump has said he may need a good government shutdown to get this wall, end quote. With his demands, he seems to be heading in that direction. Durbin called it outrageous that the White House would undercut months of bipartisan efforts by again trying to put its entire wish list of hardline anti-immigrant bills plus an additional $18 billion in wall funding on the backs of these young people. How's it on the backs of the young people? They're already here, dude. Doesn't the wall mean they stay here? Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I build a wall, isn't it equally as difficult for them to escape the United States as it is for them to get in the United States? And I'm not speaking amnesty. I'm simply, talking about physics.
Right.
Dreamers is the name given by illegal alien advocates to those illegal immigrants. I love the writer. He doesn't mince words. Dreamers is the name given by illegal alien advocates to those illegal immigrants who were brought into the country by their parents when they were minors. Now, I've spoken on this many times. And it's kind of a sins of the father kind of argument.
Yep.
I believe these people that have lived here for 20, 25 years need to go to the front of our immigration process. Do we give them and their parents amnesty? Their parents broke the law when they came here. If they're still here after 25 years and haven't been deported 15 times, but as a kid, you brought here, you didn't have a choice,
right?
So I believe that they need to go to the front of our immigration process. They didn't break the law, right?
Agree.
Like, for example, if your kid is in the back of the car and you rob a bank, did your kid rob the bank with you?
Nope.
No. The kid doesn't. The kid's in the back of the car. The kid's a minor.
But if you leave the kid the inheritance from that bank robbery and he spends it, then he becomes an accessory.
Well,
according to the law.
What if? Okay, the law they broke was entering the country illegally, violating the sovereignty of the United States.
Right.
The parents didn't. They brought their children. Why did they? We also have to look. They brought them here for a better life.
Yep.
Which, by the way, they've had for the last 25 years, I would assume.
Why not become a citizen?
Right, exactly. I have no problem with the children, the dreamers, if you will, becoming a citizen. And I am no lefty. Not by a million years. But right is right and wrong is wrong. But the kids had no choice but to come here by the parents. Did you know when they were talking about an interesting thing? If you look back in the Obama administration, and they're talking about, we're gonna amnesty and dreamers, and then we had this massive influx of children.
Yep.
Did you remember that?
Yep.
Was it 300,000 in 1 year?
They all came from Venezuela.
Yeah.
Or not Venezuela, from south
of Mexico.
Yeah. It wasn't from Mexico where they were hoping they'd come from.
But we had this giant influx of children.
Yep.
And we're out there building buildings and putting medical supplies and helping them, and they don't speak English and then all of a sudden we're trying to find their family in the United States. We're helping them in. You know what? I kind of am okay with the dreamers staying. They're productive members of our society. At least they have been for the last 15 or 20 years.
Right.
But do we give them amnesty? No. We do not give amnesty. Why? Firstly, it's unconstitutional. Secondly, there's a process in place to become a citizen of the United States. Move them to the front of the line. Hell, create a new line for them. I'm okay with that.
Plus, you'll be rewarding bad behavior, and that's a bad precedent.
No. Not the children.
Well,
you're not the children. Okay, again, the child didn't rob the bank.
But after the kid is of sound mind and age,
are they supposed to say, I've lived here for the last 10 years, now I'm going to turn around, I'm going to go back to Costa Rica?
But I'm saying, if they are, let's say they're 18 or over, they know they're breaking the law at that point. They should be going and saying, hey, my parents brought me here, I need to fix this.
So have you ever driven over the speed limit?
Oh, yeah.
So you knowingly break the law?
Yes.
So I should hold you to the same account?
Well, you got to catch me.
Well, I mean, if I'm opening up a lane, right, and I say, look, you've been here for 20 plus years, you're a productive member of our society, yes, your parents broke the law, and we're still going to get, your parents have a debt to pay to society, that debt might not be deportation. See, we keep seeing this as a black and white issue, like you're either going to stay in the United States or we're kicking you out.
Right.
Okay, well, there is a gray area. That gray area, if your parents come forward and say, look, in 1965, I came here, I've been living in the shadows for the last 45 years, 50 years, whatever it is. My daughter's now 27, right? She goes to Berkeley, whatever it is, it's not immediate deportation. Do you have a debt to pay to society for breaking the law? Yes. Are we going to kick you and your family out since you've lived here for 30 years? That doesn't make any sense.
I liked your when we were talking about this earlier.
Build the wall.
Yeah, let them
have
work
them
on
build
the
wall.
Yeah.
These people have skills, and if
That's racist.
One of their skills is avoiding prosecution. So
Right.
they're smart enough not to get caught for 25 years. They have another marketable skill, I would assume. Now, the MS-13,
Right.
the drug runners, the mules, those people, kick them the hell out. But if you've lived here and you've, worked for 20 years and you brought your 2-year-old, I think you need to go to the front of the immigration line.
Right.
Or at least open up a new line because there are people ahead of you that have worked for a long time to get here through legal means. I think you've done the same thing. There needs to be an apples to apples a peg there. There needs to be a level by which we measure that.
Agreed.
And I have no problem with it. They're already here. Somebody said you can't deport 14 million people. I said, yes, we can. We're just not trying hard enough.
Right.
Do some of these people need to be deported? Absolutely. Do some of them need to stay? Absolutely. That's the way it is. Hour number 2 right around the corner when we talk about Krispy Kreme, Disney princes, and Germany. Believe me, the Germany story, gonna scare you.
Oh,
that's why we
great.
brought in the donut story. It's Earl and George, Age Conservative Talk. We'll be back in just a minute with hour number 2. Don't go anywhere.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I'm taking control over my financial life, and that feels pretty grown up to me.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. Are those footy pajamas?
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
You're listening to Earl and George, Aged Conservative Talk.
This is a great word. I have no idea how to say this word, but I'm gonna try. The word is, let me find it in the article here. Ready? Netzwerkgedurchset Zungessetz.
That's one word.
That's one word. NETZWERKDURCHSETZUNGSGESETZ.
Dude, can I buy a vowel?
Netzwerkgedurchsetz.
Wow.
It's a German word.
Of course.
And here's what it means. Germany is now enforcing its law against social media hate speech.
Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If somebody in Germany determines your speech is obviously illegal and is not removed within 24 hours of Instagram, Facebook, and any other social media that they've now determined, those social media networks can be fined. Wait for it, $60 million.
Dude, the networks.
Social media. Yep. They will now follow the 2 million members social media sites. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube will be the law's main focus. It will likely be applied to Reddit, Tumblr, and Russian social media network VK. Other sites such as Vimeo and Flickr could also fall into the provisions. The Netzwerkgedurchsetzungsgesetz law was passed at the end of June 2017, came into force in early October. Social media networks were given until the end of 2017 to prepare themselves for the arrival of NetZDG, is what they call it.
Wow.
The call to police social media sites more effectively arose after several high-profile cases. Now, the reason they do this in Germany is because of the neo-Nazis. Germany's Justice Ministry said it would make forms available on the site which concerned citizens could use to report content that violates it. Does this bring swatting to a whole new level?
Yes.
As well as forcing social media firms to act quickly, NetZDG requires them to put in place a comprehensive complaint structure so the post can quickly be reported to staff. Most material have been removed within 24-hour networks will have a week to act on the complex cases. Facebook has reportedly recruited several hundred staff in Germany to deal with the reports about content that breaks the NetZDG and do a better job of monitoring. Now, here's the thing. If we're I would consider a controversial show.
Yeah.
With a Facebook page.
Yep.
I recently on our Facebook page put out a meme that I created myself. Okay, George is taking credit for it, which is a bag of poo on fire, claiming that this is the liberal agenda. Right? Is that hate speech?
No.
You don't think so, but what about the German Ministry of Hate Speech?
Yeah.
The German law is the most extreme example of efforts by governments and regulators to rein in social media firms. Many of they have become under much greater scrutiny this year, and information about how they are used to spread propaganda and other sensitive material. In the UK, politicians have been sharply critical of social media sites, calling them disgrace and saying that they are shamefully far from doing a good job policing hate speech. Who gets to determine what hate speech is?
Exactly.
Is it just black, white, gray? Is it just red?
It's the same thing with cuss words. Who decided that they were cuss words?
Sure.
Exactly.
Society? I don't like your jacket. Is that hate speech? You're bald. Hate speech.
Yep.
My beard's gray. Hate speech. Right? I mean, who gets to determine that? And that's why I said the Germany story is going to scare you.
You know, something that a lot of people don't know, but I know because of my day job, ICANN, which is the people that regulate the internet.
They own the internet.
President Obama handed over control of ICANN to an international body. It used to be a local organization.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's world courts now determine if there's an ICANN violation. And the way that it was explained to us by our
two
attorney,
ends, by the way, everybody.
Our attorney basically said if we had somebody that we hosted that had a blog about Brazil and they wrote a piece about Brazil that was considered unfriendly or unflattering or whatever, and somebody in Brazil raised a complaint, we could go to the world court to face fines and penalties.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and this has been in place now for almost 6 years.
That's like the UN controlling gun rights in America.
Yep, exactly. It's frightening what they've done with the internet, with the control of the internet. Now, thankfully, because of the net neutrality changes, President Trump has changed a lot of that, and hopefully ICANN will come back to being an American-based thing again.
Well, the reason why this Germany story is so scary is Germany, for obvious reasons, after reunification, they tried to put a socialist country, which was falling apart, East Germany, back together and reunify it with West Germany, which they have. And I've been to Germany since then. It's a beautiful country with wonderful people and a great culture to explore. However, they go right down the beaten path of what you can and can't say.
Right.
And that's because of Nazi Germany. Nazism is illegal in Germany. It is illegal to be a Nazi. In the United States, it's still legal for you to be an idiot and a Nazi. But in Germany, it is illegal. And the reason is Nazi Germany.
Right.
That's they have a valid reason why they do that. But they've taken those laws so far. I keep getting back to this. Here's why it's so scary. You don't get to choose whether your speech is hateful or not anymore.
Right.
It's everybody else who gets to choose whether your speech is hateful. So when I say something like, I don't like your dress, why? Because it makes you look fat. That gets considered hate speech.
Yeah, you're fat shaming too.
Right. So, look, I'm telling you you asked my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. Well, that's hate speech. Why? Because I've said it is.
Yep. And I'm going to file a complaint.
You have no defense against it. None. Is it hate speech? According to her, it is. It's a credible allegation.
That must be why all of the social media organizations like Facebook and Twitter have been talking about they're going to start monitoring people's speech a lot more, even here in the U.S.
So, is hate speech free speech?
Yes.
Yes, it is, America. Sorry. You have to stand up for what people say, even if you don't like it.
Yep.
That's what it means. If you support the First Amendment of the United States, which allows for free speech against the government of the United States or anybody else, yes, you must stand up for it, even though you don't like it. Do I agree with what neo-Nazis scream in the street? No. Do I defend their right to scream it? Yes. Do I agree with what Black Lives Matter screams in the street? No. Do I defend their right to scream it? Yes. Do I defend and agree with the LGBT community and what they scream in the street? No. Do I defend their right to scream it? Yes. You know what that's called? It's called being a constitutional conservative. It's also called being a patriot. And when these companies think that they can come in and they can then limit your free speech, it's their social media network. So guess what? They have the power to do it. Start your own social media network. That's what capitalism is.
Oh, but that's bad too.
If you don't like what Facebook does, start your own. Leave Facebook. I'm sorry, but you are a voluntary member of that social media network. They do not have to give you access to Facebook. It is not your right to have a Facebook account. Therefore, you must follow the guidelines set forth by Facebook. And if I break those guidelines, they're going to come down on me, and they're going to come down on this show, just like they would come down on you. Do I have a problem with that? Yes. Is it their right to do it? Yes. So be careful with what you say and use common sense. And by the way, if you are offended by something we say, I don't care. Right. I really don't give two squirts of piss whether you're upset about something I say on our radio show. Call us and we'll discuss it. We don't care. You know why? Because we started the radio show. It's our show.
You don't have to listen.
If you don't like it, turn it off. So there it is. But this law, when they start limiting your free speech and when they start going after companies, because they know they can't go after the individual free speech anymore. They've run that gambit in Germany. So now they go after the companies to rein in your free speech.
Even the United Nations declared in 1948 that everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. So even the UN is on board.
1948?
Yeah, 1948.
Oh, that was the year they made Israel a country and murdered a bunch of, the world was coming to an end in the Palestinian one.
This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media, regardless of frontiers.
Yeah, but it's the UN. We should kick them out of the United States anyway and cut their funding by $187 million. What do you say, America?
Yes.
We'll be right back to talk about Disney princes. This is going to make your eyes bleed. It's Earl and George. We'll be right back.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn earrings today.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Michaela's got like the best earrings.
Sarah, buckle up.
I wish my name was Michaela.
We're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
It can be tough getting through to kids, but it's your job to make sure they're wearing your seatbelts. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Smoother than aged whiskey and tighter than turn 4 at Talladega. Earl and George. By the way, George is the cute one.
How are we tighter than turn 4?
Just go with it. Turn 4 is pretty dang tight.
But we're old and droopy.
Look, I don't know about you, but it's a new year. I'm going to try that fasting thing.
Really?
Yeah.
For religious reasons?
Well,
or just to lose weight?
No. I mean, there's an actual science behind fasting. Last year, I did 21 days of prayer and fasting. Believe it or not, saved my marriage, America.
That's good.
Okay, I was literally like leaving my wife at Christmas. The end of January, we had completely changed our entire marriage. That's 21 days of prayer and fasting. My daughter last night was fasting, and we were out and we were having a little snack, and she's like, "I'm so hungry, Dad." I said, "Well, what are you supposed to do when you get hungry?" She's like, "Drink water." I don't remember. I was like, "Pray." It's prayer and fasting. So
Right.
when you're hungry, you pray about it. So it works. I don't know why. I'm not a pastor. I'm not going to sling my religion around. I'm just telling you, it friggin' works. And you don't have to go like full fast, like fast soda, fast Facebook. Fast something that you're basically addicted to, right? Turn it off. Just turn it off for 21 days. And
my wife would leave me.
And and that's the hard part. Like you gotta it changes your life. Something as simple as I'm gonna fast Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's on your tablet, it's on your computer, it's on your phone, it's on your friend's phone. The people next to you are on Facebook, and we find all these times when we're like, this is a really weird moment at the table when I don't have my phone in front of me. I'm not searching Facebook. What am I supposed to do? Pray
Right.
at that moment. If you're a prayerful person, you pray. You don't have to do this whole. I know a guy who did 21 days when he didn't eat anything. He drank water for 21 days.
He had to eat something.
Nope. 21 days. Didn't eat a thing. Fasted for 21 days. All he drank was water.
Wow.
Yep. And every time he got hungry, he just prayed. Because, 21 days is the longest your body can go without food. And after about 4 days, you're not hungry because your body's eating itself for energy. It's really interesting.
Yeah, so all those out there that are wanting to fast, go let your body eat itself. Fast.
That's exactly what the body eats the fat first, then it goes into the muscle, and it's really kind of amazing what happens when you fast. And there's an entire diet program, if you will, about the science of fasting, and I'm looking at it right now. I haven't.
But you're not going to do any damage to your body by not eating.
Yes, he just said that it would it would go into the fat and then into the muscle mass.
Yeah. But no, after 21 days, you start eating again, and your body's like, oh, cool, thanks, we got food now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really it's again. I'm looking at the science of it. I'll figure it out. But I'm a total fan of fasting. Last year, my 21-year marriage was about to go up in flames. 21 days later, prayer and fasting, and my wife and I are we're dating. It's fantastic. I don't know what changed in our lives, but it works. Okay. Speaking of relationship issues, right?
Right.
Husbands, wives, men, women. This moron. I'm just going to start the. Okay, it's a college professor. All right. So I once knew, and I was a physics major in college, and actually my degree
is this a trip down memory lane?
My degree's in applied science, and I was once having a discussion about. This is a hilarious story. I was sitting in the physics department. And I was having a discussion with these two PhD physicists about, the best way to detect life on other planets and find exoplanets. And one of them was
nerds.
One of them was fiddling with a TV remote, right? And I'm watching, and we're all having this discussion. Is it radio waves? Is it sending probes? Is it finding an Earth-like atmosphere in the Goldilocks zone? And blah 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 blah. And I'm watching this physics PhD messing with this TV remote control. And he was like fiddling with it, and then he pointed at the TV and mashed a button, and he gets this look on his face like, what's wrong with this thing? He was banging on the desk, and he did it. And he would turn, and I'm watching, and he'd take the batteries out, and put the batteries back in, and he'd flip it at it, and he'd bang it on the desk, and he pointed at the TV, and it didn't work. And here are the smartest people that I know.
Right.
And I'm like, did you just put the batteries in backwards? What? I'm a PhD. I'm a physicist. Are you? I said, I'm fairly certain you have the batteries in backwards. And he did.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Look, I'm telling you, you can have every degree you want. You're still a human being.
Yep. Okay?
I mean, I've done it. We've all put the batteries in backwards. We've all done it. So don't let them tell you and get this moral, this intellectual, lofty, well, I'm a college professor, and blah, blah, blah. Like, look, you still put the batteries in backwards, man. Okay, everybody does.
That was a good Stewie impersonation.
Oh, don't get me started on Stewie. Hey, it's what I do for a living. Happily ever after endings of classic Disney movies aren't as idyllic as they seem, according to Kazue Muta, a professor of sociology at Osaka University in Japan. She argued on social media last month and again in Japan's Women's Action Network at the end of the year. Quote, come to think of it, those princes in the fairy tales are also considered to be quasi-sexual offenders because they kissed the beauties, who were total strangers to them, while they were unconscious, end quote. The post spurred angry reactions from users who misunderstood or misread my comment. Quote, misunderstood or misread my comment and criticized or denounced it in strong language, she wrote in an article a few days later, which was translated into English. Japan Today, which publishes original stories as well as translated from articles, blah, 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 blah. They included comments like, no matter how you interpret those stories, what the princess did was not sexual assault. It's kind of dismantling of our culture and traditions. Now, her argument was, and I've talked about this many times on the show, her argument was using the societal norms of today, if you will, looking at something that was created 60 plus years ago or longer, and saying that's inappropriate. And if you doubt it, go look at any James Bond movie. He basically, it's 90 minutes of him killing people and raping people. That's pretty much what it is. In a very cool way, mind you, with cool gadgets, I'll grant you.
Snow White was released in 1938.
1938. Yep. But the story had been around a lot longer.
Yeah.
If you look at the Brothers Grimm put out hundreds of fairy tales.
So that was over 80 years ago.
But now we're looking at this. Muta engaged her critics, but was limited to Twitter's 140 characters. So I'd like to discuss here what I think the prince's kiss is sexual assault and why it's necessary to pay attention to it. Wait, really? This is what society has devolved into? Going back and looking at fairy tales and looking for evidence of victim status.
Right.
And society has devolved into that and leotards for your dog. That's pretty much what our society stands for now.
We hadn't gotten to the leotard story.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the dog leotards because it's stupid. If you want to look at dog leotards, yes, they exist
because dogs shed.
If you're right, so very quickly, the guy was mad. I think it was a guy mad because his dog was shedding on the carpet. So to stop the dog from shedding on the carpet, he created with a sewing machine, I might add. This guy's a very good seamstress. A dog leotard. It covers the dog from snout to butt in fabric.
Right. Well, no, neck. It's
neck.
Yeah.
Neck. From neck to butt. The tail's out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neck to butt?
Neck to butt. Yeah. Neck to butt. Leotard. It's stupid. You shouldn't have bought a dog that sheds, you ding dong. By the way, all dogs shed. Ding dong. Anyway.
There's some that are hyperallergenic.
Anyway. If your dog doesn't have a shed, if your dog doesn't shed, you don't have a dog. I'm just saying.
Then
Okay?
what is it?
It's not a dog. It's some mutant.
It's a riddle. Are you the riddler?
It's some mutant. Thing. So the sociology professor, she's looking through the lens of today at things that happened 40 plus years ago, 80 years ago. Which, by the way, is exactly what happened to Judge Roy Moore.
Wow, that's a nice tie-in.
You like that?
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, because look at the behavior and the sphere of influence, air fingers quote, in the 1940s, in the 1960s, in the 1970s. And now, when you look at all of the social justice warrior bullcrap today, through that lens, everything you did in 1940s, 50s, and 60s was bad. Everything.
I Love Lucy would be bad.
Except rampant drug use in the 70s.
Right.
That's the only thing. Look, go watch an I Love Lucy episode. Go watch Star Trek.
He spanks her when she steps out of line.
Is there an alien Captain Kirk didn't boff at the end of a Star Trek episode? Right? I mean, come on, man. Seriously? And now, don't get me started on this new Star Trek, man. Have you watched Discovery?
Mm-mm.
We have openly gay characters and the F-bomb.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Now, I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm simply saying that's not my Star Trek.
No.
You don't know. That's killing me. And so is a story about these Disney princesses. So I raised 3 daughters on these Disney movies and all of these other things. And guess what? Now they're all sexual offenders. We have now gone from finding actual sexual offenders to saying the princes in our fairy tales are sexual offenders. How sick and twisted is this?
Well, that's not making your daughters sexual offenders.
No. But how are they going to find their Prince Charming?
Oh, well.
How are they going to find their Prince Charming when Prince Charming is a sexual offender? Right? I mean, look at Elsa. This goes both ways, right? Didn't Elsa kill people with her frigid temperatures?
Yep.
Isn't she a mass murderer? Excuse me.
She's also supposedly their first openly gay character.
Who, Elsa?
Yeah.
I didn't know she was gay.
Yeah, supposedly.
I missed that one.
They're doing a sequel where they're going to go in.
Wait a minute.
What movie is this we're talking about?
I thought the purple Teletubby was openly gay.
Yeah, the Teletubby's gay too. But in terms of Disney cartoons, Disney movies, Elsa's supposedly going to come out as being gay.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Plot twist.
Dude, she was hot. I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah, you're talking about a cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay with that.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Are you okay with it?
Yeah.
You didn't think Elsa was hot?
In Frozen 2, she's supposedly going to come out as being gay.
Why? What purpose does that serve?
The narrative.
Porpoise?
what dolphin? What purpose does it serve to have her gay? Speaking of gays, when we come back, we'll take a quick break right here. When we come back, don't mess with my pronouns, people. That's the rule now from the LGBTQ society.
There should be a plus in there somewhere.
Oh wait, if I started listing them all, it would go. It's Earl and George, Age Conservative Talk. Is there anybody we haven't offended this show?
I don't think so.
We got 35 minutes to knock it out. We're going to gays next. We'll be right back.
Ranger Station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service Ad Council and your state forester.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Mama always said God made dirt and dirt don't hurt. You're listening to Earl and George. Doggone right. By the way, George is the cute one.
Oh, you recycled that one.
How do you not know Roseanne?
I
It was an old TV show back in the 90s. Yeah, that's how Roseanne Barr got famous.
Oh, Roseanne.
Yeah, Roseanne.
I thought you were saying Rosian.
Rosian?
Roseanne.
They're rebooting the Roseanne show?
Yeah, and she's got a cross-dressing grandson.
Whatever. I don't care. I'm looking down this comprehensive list of LGBTQ plus vocabulary definitions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know, there's one that's not on here.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to get down to it. Oh, no, it is on here. Yeah. Heterosexual is actually on the list. Yeah, it's the only, let's see. And of course, this list is way too long. LGBTQ. I'm trying to find the, here we go. Is it QQIAAP plus something or other?
Yeah.
But they've gone from that, which was stupid. There's a glad glossary of terms.
Wow.
When you have to speak another language to be gay, you got a problem. You have a problem anyway. But amid the ongoing leftist push for enforcing preferred pronoun usage as gender identity grows more fluid and feeling-based, an LGBT group in University of Georgia, of all places, has taken things a step further. It's no longer good enough merely. By the way, there's a law in California that they tried to pass that said if you use the wrong pronoun, you could be subject to libel laws.
It didn't pass?
I don't know if it did or not.
Oh.
I use the wrong pronoun all the time in California, and frankly, I don't give a crap. I really don't care.
It makes me think twice now, though, when I say it to somebody. Like, when I say, because I always say thank you, sir, when somebody hands me something or something like that, and it always makes me go, I hope that didn't piss them off.
Why?
Like, I don't want the drama. Like at McDonald's, if I'm getting food, I don't want them, spitting in my food or anything.
Yeah.
So,
interestingly enough, I don't care. And here's my justification of that. Because we live in a society now where whatever I say can be taken as offensive by someone else, why should I care whether it offends someone else or not?
Right. But
right. Wait, let me finish. There's a flip side of that. Because we live in a society where their being offended offends me, why should I care? Remember? Because if they say, well, I'd prefer if you called me Z, and I say, I don't care, I'm offended by you asking me to call you Z.
Right.
See? Right?
Right.
That's how you turn that around.
Yeah, but still, I don't want to spit in my food.
I don't want to spit in my food either. That's why you go to the kiosk. Pay. Right?
Yep. Do they have those out there?
Oh yeah, I haven't talked.
I wish they'd bring them here.
I haven't talked to a human in McDonald's in over a year.
Excellent.
I just walk in and I'm like, doot, 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 swipe my card, and they're like, number 14, and I walk over and get my bag. You now at McDonald's in where they have these things can now hire. I don't think I should say it on the air. Somebody's going to get offended. The dumbest of the dumb human. Right. Literally the bottom of the gene pool.
Huh.
If they can dress themselves, they can now work.
Wow.
They don't even have to do any math. They don't have to do anything. You just walk in and you mash the buttons. Doot, 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 doot. Big Mac, fry, Coke, bam.
But there's still a person that gives you the food.
$11. But they're trying to get rid of that too. Now it's going to be a conveyor. It'll be a conveyor belt. Eventually, it'll be like, oh, number 12, ding, ding, ding. Oh, it's mine. In fact, if you go to Itza, have you been to an Itza? There's a little restaurant called Itza. They have no humans.
Wow.
It's kiosks and little holes in the wall, right? That have the glass changes.
Yeah.
And then the glass, it has your name on it, and you walk up and you mash the thing, and it opens up, and your food's in the little cubby hole.
But I always thought there were people in the back that were making it.
Well, sure, they're back there making the food.
Right.
But you don't have to touch. You don't have to talk to anybody or touch them.
Yeah, I haven't been to one of those.
You just walk up. You can actually order on your phone. Boop, 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 boop. Done. And you just walk up, and it's like, George, your food's ready. Oh, good. There's my. And their food's crap. By
right.
The way. It's like all non-gluten free vegan this and that with hummus and
Hey, now don't be knocking hummus.
No, I like Mediterranean food, but I just like, oh man, it's like I want some goat meat or something. Put something in there. Anyway, back. So McDonald's is going to go that way. I think McDonald's is going to go that way.
Did you say goat meat?
I did.
Okay.
You got to listen to the show. Just go back and download our podcast and listen to the show. I think McDonald's will go away with humans here pretty quick.
I want the kiosks here. I'm tired of my food getting messed up.
Yeah, and you just walk up, mash the buttons,
first world problems,
and then they just yell out literally, they could do it in another language. 25? Yeah, that's mine, buddy. Thanks for that. I'm not kidding. It's the easiest thing in the world, and it cuts down, especially in a place like San Francisco, where every third person you pass is homeless.
Right.
Begging. They beg outside every store. They're outside every store. They're in most of the stores. They steal everything. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you the truth. You may not want to hear it, America, but that's what happens.
How's it going to cut down?
Because now they know they can't just they walk in. I don't know, man. I was all I can think about is LGBTQ play AAQQAYP plus or whatever it is. Gender identity, University of Georgia. It's no longer good enough merely for someone's preferred pronoun, examples of ze or they, are opposed to she or he, in that person's presence. According to the school's LGBT Resource Center, now you have to do so even if you're not in that person's presence.
What?
So if you're talking about a person who wants to use the pronoun ze instead of he, when I'm talking to you about that person and I say he, you can say, oh, well, they prefer if you use the pronoun ze, so they're not even in the room, and
wow.
Z, you have to talk about zim that way.
People have lost their ever-loving mind.
Quote, respecting someone's gender identity means using their pronoun. Bull crap. Oh, man. Respecting someone's gender identity? When do I have to start respecting your gender identity? When did that become a thing? You only have to respect somebody's gender identity should you choose to respect it. It's not forced on you. Respect is earned, not because you had a surgery, bro. I'm sorry, Zim, whoever the hell you are. I don't have to respect crap about you.
Right.
And neither do you have to respect anything about me, other than the fact that you're a human being. A couple more surgeries, we can change that too. But the reality is respect is earned, folks. And you're not going to force your ideology on me no more than you're going to force your religion on me. You're not going to force your ideology on me any more than you're going to force your nonsense victim status on me. If you want me to respect you, then earn my respect. I respect you as a human being because you breathe. Okay? That is the respect I give all human beings. Everybody gets that level of respect without ever meeting them.
Case in point, we haven't killed anybody.
Well, yeah. I mean, day's not over.
Right. But that's why because we respect people.
I don't know about you, but it's a Saturday, and on Saturdays we usually round up all the gays, take them to the roof, and throw them off. Oh, sorry, that's in Iran. Sorry,
That's
Sorry
to
about
our
that.
listeners
It's
in
a
the Middle East.
Totally different country there. And faith, by the way, and political system, and economic system, and continent. Look, respect human beings. Got it. Okay?
Yep.
The people that I killed across a battlefield, I respected them to death.
Yep.
Right? But their political views and the fact that they were shooting at me, I didn't respect them so much. Like, I shot them back. Okay? Homosexuals, I respect you as a human being. I respect you as an American citizen, right? And the people that I work with that are homosexual, I respect them as colleagues and coworkers. They've earned my respect. Right. It has nothing to do with their gender. It has nothing to do with their sexual preference. I don't care about stuff like that. That is so far down on the list of things that I need to respect about you. But for you, it's way up top.
Yep.
You have to respect me because of what I choose. And I choose gender identity. No, that's not how it works, everybody. You have to respect me because of my religion. No, I don't. Sorry. It's just, you got to get over that. How dare you? That's hate speech. And then they call you a hater, and then they start the litany of insults and so on because somehow you've offended them because you don't accept their entire reason for being, which hangs between their legs.
Yep.
It's stupid.
Or it doesn't hang between their legs. And
You know what I mean.
Yeah, they want to change it.
Or who they sleep with at night.
Right.
Or what they do in the privacy of their own bedroom. I don't care.
My wife's whole complaint about all of this, about the homosexuals pushing everything and the now the transgender, she's like, what you do in your own bedroom is something that's between you and whoever you do it with.
Used to be.
And it should stop there.
Yeah, used to be.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care about what you do in your bedroom, no matter whether
who
more,
you do it with.
No more than you should care about what I did to my wife
exactly.
last night. I'm just kidding. Well, it doesn't matter. That's not what we are about. I am not about what sexual positions or what gender I am or what genitalia. That is so far down on the list of things that we should be concerned about. You know what? Are your kids eating? Are they healthy?
Right.
Are they being educated? All right. Are you allowed to keep more of your hard-earned money? Are our borders sovereign? Are our enemies attacking us? Are we safe in our homes from government intrusion? Are you allowed to say things in the public square freely and openly that I disagree with? Man, I got so much more to worry about than who you're sleeping with tonight.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. But to them, that has become their identity, right? And it's become a civil right.
Yeah.
That's where they went wrong. They've made it into a civil right. Now, everything is a civil right. Everything is a civil right. Okay, I'm going to shock you, America. You ready for this?
Bring it.
I don't care if you're black, white, blue, gay, straight, up, down, left, right, bearded, not, male, female, don't care. If you are a United States citizen, guess what, everybody?
What?
We all have the same civil rights.
Yep.
Cars just drove off the road. Right?
Right.
Dogs and cats ceased their fighting and turned to look at the radio at that moment. A robber walked into a grocery store, heard that, and said, I'm telling you right now, I don't care who you are. I will respect you as a human being, and should you earn my respect in other ways, you have it. But to walk up to me and say, you have to use these pronouns, Z, Zim, Zay, whatever it is, no, I don't. No more than you can force me to do anything else.
Right.
The story continues. There's a guide, a how-to guide, provides example sentences, directing students to fill in the blank with a pronoun for the appropriate numbered column. That's what we're doing.
Wow.
This is what your kids are learning in school, America.
That's how your money's being wasted.
The guide also includes advice for those who may be uncomfortable using gender-neutral pronouns, encouraging them to volunteer their own preferred pronouns and ask others to, okay, fine, I would like you to now, my preferred pronoun is they. They, George, is the appropriate use, right? When you're talking about me, I would like you to talk about me in the plural, please, from now on. Quote, it isn't rude to ask someone what their pronouns are. Really? Aren't you profiling them when you do so?
Right.
I think you are a transgendered female. May I ask you what your pronouns are? Like, dude, my name's Steve. We've known each other for 30 years. Yeah, but I'm profiling you, and It's not rude to ask someone for what their pronouns are.
I can't believe this is going on at the University of Georgia.
Quote, they will be glad that you care enough to get it right, the guide assures. The guide also suggests students should, quote, introduce yourself with your name and your pronouns so that others will feel comfortable. I swear to God, if somebody walked up to me and said, hi, my name's Stan, my preferred pronoun is Z and Zim, I'd be like, get out of my face. I would laugh so hard I'd probably pee myself. And if you don't use someone's preferred pronoun and have it asked, just use they, them, and their, the guide says, according to the... So they say if you don't know their preferred pronouns, use the plural. Campus Reform said LGBT Resource Center did not respond to requests for comment on January 24th. For instance. Okay, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the rest of this. How far?
Yeah,
and the
wow.
sign, by the way, the picture is a person. I don't know if it's a he or she. I'm profiling them. Zay, Zim, whatever. Steve, I'm going to call that girl Steve, is holding the sign that says, my pronouns are not for debate. Yeah, they are. Sorry. I don't mean to hurt you there, but they are.
Isn't that the whole experience of college is to debate?
I love the fact that they get to say what is up for debate or not. They try to shut down these arguments, right? It's
wow.
It's this self-entitlement victim status that they're like, you're so intolerant. Really? You're the one forcing me to use a specific pronoun. Who's freaking intolerant? Steve Sherrill? I don't know what your name is. What do I call you? Because you've made your entire life about how you have sex and who you have sex with. I don't care.
Yep.
Like, man, are my children fed? Are they lowering my taxes? Is my lawn mowed? Do I need to put gas in the car? Am I out of
family safe?
Am I out of milk? I mean, there's a lot of things that are way more important to me than who you're screwing tonight.
Right.
And what stupid pronoun that you want to use. Oh my God. But this is what we've devolved. This is the American experiment devolved. Thank you, liberal agenda.
Yeah, and it's getting worse.
A bag of flaming crap on your porch. All right, when we come back, we're going to wrap up the show talking about the most amazing Krispy Kreme invention ever. America.
Besides the donut?
And the first douche of the week for 2018 coming up. It's Earl and George.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, you, over yonder. You're listening to Earl and George.
Ba-da-ba. Right now, people in Iran are protesting against their government.
Good for them.
For the right reasons. And we need to support the people fighting for freedom in a totalitarian, faith-based dictatorship.
Isn't that, kind of the whole existence of America?
Isn't that what we do? However, feminists in America are putting on a hijab and wrapping their hair up in the Muslim style because they're in solidarity with their Islamic sisters who in Iran are protesting in the streets and taking off their hijab for freedom.
Yep.
You are part of the problem, American liberal feminists. Speaking from a man who's a feminist, by the way. I'm all about equality in the workplace for women. Why would you say that, George? I have 3 daughters and a beautiful wife, and I support them. Okay? I have sisters and a mother, and I support them.
But that's not what feminism means.
I'm a man. I can't be a feminist. I can't support women's issues.
Right.
Feminism is all about, what, gender reproduction and killing your own children? Is that what it's about?
Apparently.
The Iranian protests are going on. Support the Iranian protests, America. If you don't, you're part of the problem.
You think they'll actually do something this time?
I don't know. Look what happened in Egypt.
I would hope that they could, because Iran used to be a beautiful place. Used to be a beautiful country.
Yep, absolutely.
And I would hope that they
So was Afghanistan.
I would hope they'd change it back, but
I've been to Afghanistan several times, and before the Islamic totalitarian government took over the caliphate.
Right.
It was a modern country. It was in the 40s, but it was a modern country in the 40s.
When Russia had it? Was it Russian
before
control?
that?
Oh,
before
wow.
that.
Even before then?
Yeah, before
Dude.
Russian control. Iran was the same way. It was a thriving, oil-rich country. It was basically on its way to become Dubai.
Yep.
Same with Pakistan.
Yep.
These are oil-rich countries. And look what happened in Dubai. If you look at the pictures of Iran and Dubai, or United Arab Emirates, in the early 40s, they were basically exactly the same. They were on their way to becoming wealthy. The United Arab Emirates, all of a sudden, is now the jewel in the region. One of the wealthiest countries on the planet, probably the wealthiest country on the planet. Made up of 3 emirates, made up of 3 independent states, and they're amazing. Now, their laws are still a little weird. Okay, I mean, I'll grant you that, but they are absolutely beautiful modern countries. Go to Iran, and it's not.
Yep.
You go to Pakistan, it's not. You go to Afghanistan, they're living in the 1800s.
Don't you have to get like a special invite to be able to go to the Emirates from the prince or something?
No.
I thought there was one of them. Maybe it's Saudi Arabia.
Well, it might be one of the Emirates. I mean, you can go to Dubai and just buy a plane to Dubai. It's an amazing place. So, we talked about future GPS Trump document. We talked about Disney princes and the sexual assault.
Krispy Kreme.
Oh, that's what it was. Thanks, Mr. Producer. Krispy Kreme donuts.
Love them.
Have invented the absolute. Not this story. Let me find this one. No.
You're not prepared,
No.
George. What is wrong with you?
No, I had it, and then you guys started talking about something else, and I looked up something totally different. And I've closed the page. Hang on, I gotta look it up.
The suspense is killing me.
There it is. Krispy Kreme. No, wrong one.
We need Jeopardy music.
Krispy Kreme. Now, look, if you don't live in the South, where's Krispy Kreme? Is it national?
North, yeah, it's national.
It is. So in Krispy Kreme, they have them in San Francisco.
They should.
I know they've got them in L.A. I know they got them in L.A. Krispy Kreme.
It's global, too. There's a couple of them.
Can now, you ready for this? When you thought you couldn't adore Krispy Kreme anymore, they've up and invented a new way to enjoy their confections.
Home delivery.
Krispy Kreme donut milkshakes.
Oh, man.
Yes! Finally! 2018. The donut chain has announced that they are making milkshakes, the donut you can drink.
God.
We took an original glazed donut, turned it into a cream shake. What's a cream shake? Only the best thick shake you'll ever have this summer. I can't wait. I want one now. Somebody bring me a Krispy Kreme milkshake now.
This is going to make my Mongolian wild ass fatter.
According to... That's a challenge accepted. According to Krispy Kreme's website, the new treat's available in 3 flavors. Original glazed, chocolate cookies and cream, and delicious chocolate honeycomb. Oh, my God.
I was with you till the honeycomb one.
Whew. All the decadent shakes are topped with a swirl of fresh whipped cream and toppings. Let's see. Krispy Kreme originated in North Carolina. Quote, we've been a popular destination for milkshakes for a long time. We've also seen the loaded shakes as a trend. Have you seen these loaded milkshakes?
Yeah.
There's right down from the radio station. There's this place that makes a milkshake.
Oh,
it's
dude,
bigger than your head.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Amazing.
And then they put the cupcake and they stick the straw through the cupcake for your birthday Sunday. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna have to inform me on what this place is.
I'm having a diet. I'm on my diet, so I can't do it. This is my time of the year to lose weight. The rest of the year is gain weight. Krispy Kreme, amazing. I want an original glazed Krispy Kreme donut shake.
I mean, I hope it tastes, and this is just the fat man in me. I hope it tastes like the donut.
It better.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to lose it.
Right.
I'm going to have a full-on conniption fit in the lobby of Krispy Kreme. I'll be on hands and knees. This tastes like crap.
Does it say when you're supposed to be able to get them?
No.
But I thought you were going to be on the floor from the sugar coma.
But, again, this is not a rumor like the mid-engine Corvette's a rumor. I'm still waiting on the mid-engine Corvette.
That's not a rumor.
Do you guys have, Mr. Producer, do you want to throw out some Douche of the Week nominations for 2018? The first Douche of the Week of 2018. We should have done a Douche of the Year, but it would have been Hillary Clinton. Do you have any Douche of the Week?
Yeah.
He's cut his own microphone off. Earl, what do you think?
Yeah, I've got two.
Uh-huh.
One of them I think is douchey. The other one I think is just kind of funny, but not really douchey.
Okay.
The New York City mayor, what was his name, de Blasio?
No, Bill de Blasio?
Yeah, gave himself a pay raise of almost $33,000 more than any of his predecessors have made.
Wow.
Yeah, so his salary is going to be going from $225,000 a year to $258,000 a year.
Man, those liberals, socialism is only good for the people, not the socialists.
Right, and it goes against. He asked whoever his governing body is to give him a raise, and they said no. So he went around them and gave himself a raise anyway. And then
nice.
the other thing I don't think is douchey, but I do because of all the whining that I've seen on social media, is all the people that are having to pump their own gas now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
In Oregon, it used to be where and by the way, the only reason they did it was to give people a job.
Right.
It was illegal for you to pump your own gas in Oregon.
Yeah.
But all the pictures of people pumping diesel into their cars
right.
and, not knowing how to use a gas pump.
And whining.
Those have got to be fake.
The whining of it.
I doubt it. My sister lives in Oregon.
And has she ever pumped her own gas?
Well, yes, but she lived down here and in California.
So what's the problem?
But for people that were born there,
why are people whining about it?
They don't want to do it. There was one guy that I read. It was his Facebook post. He said, "I will sit in my car all day until somebody comes out and pumps my gas."
Wow.
Yeah, that's first world problems.
Check your privilege.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, dude, really? But he said he is not getting out and pumping his own gas.
Tough crap.
Yeah. The guys at the station are going to laugh at you till they close.
I mean, but there are still places that offer full service. Like, here in Alabama, ain't nobody coming out to pump gas.
No,
I'm just going to tell you right now.
Well, there is a guy though in Irondale that does it.
I don't really.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a full service gas station,
and he still does like 25-cent milkshakes, like the old classic milkshakes, the malts.
You remember, like, you watching the movies when the car pulls up to the gas, it's like ding ding, and four guys run out and they do all the stuff to your car. They're shining it and they clean the windows.
He still does that. He checks your oil for you.
Really?
Checks your tire pressure.
Good
everything.
for him.
Yep.
Hopefully, he's making $1 million bucks.
He's doing pretty well.
A full service gas station.
Full service.
Now, there are a couple states that I've been to that have a full service pump and a regular service pump, self service pump.
Right.
So if you pull into the full service, the guy will come out and do it. They designate which line you're in, but most of them, Alabama, you just pull up and pull your gas up.
Yep.
Just pump your gas and get on with it. You get too much to go. But so people are complaining about it in Oregon.
Yeah. People are complaining.
Everybody in Oregon's a leftist, by the way. So that doesn't surprise me when they're out there, right? Seriously, that's a check your privilege first world problem.
Yeah, they're like, how dare they tell me I have to pump my gas? They sound like a bunch of spoiled brats.
Well, I only have one Douche of the Week nominee this week who has been in the news every single day this week.
Oh, wow.
Every single day I see her name. Anybody want to guess who it is? Not Hillary Clinton.
I'm joking.
Reese Witherspoon.
Not Reese Witherspoon.
It's a senator.
No.
Oh, really?
TV personality.
Oh.
Joy Behar.
Oh, Lord. What'd she do?
Every single day this week, she's gotten into she's piling on the Trump hate. Piling on the Trump hate. The latest one is that New York hates. The latest one is that Trump needs to be hospitalized. Trump is not fit to be president. She's on that ramp. And the reason she's ramping this stuff up is because the whole Trump impeachment crowd is kind of falling to the wayside.
Right.
So now they've got to re-aim their focus. They need a reason to hate Trump, and they keep finding reasons. But Joy Behar is the mouthpiece now She's talking about that Donald Trump would start a nuclear war to keep his stupid sons out of jail.
Wow.
He needs to be hospitalized.
That's where she went off on his tweet, right?
Oh,
about
my
having
gosh.
The bigger button.
Yeah, about the bigger. Every time this woman opens her mouth, and by the way, I have no idea who she is. Like, I don't know what show she was on before The View. I have no idea how she became an actress. I have no idea how she's somehow a political pundit. I have no idea where she came from. It was like people were walking down the street, Joy Behar tripped over them, and she became this TV personality.
Yeah.
I really don't understand it.
Maybe she was sleeping with Barbara Walters.
I also, by the way, have a second douche. I just thought about it while I was monologuing there. The executive staff of NBC, I would like to nominate for douche of the week, and here's why. They've named Goda Hotby to replace Matt Lauer, who, by the way, was making, was it $28 million a year?
Something like that.
The co-host of the Today Show, who just does like a fill-in hour, Megyn Kelly, makes $20 million a year. And Hoda Kotb now permanently takes over the reins for Matt Lauer to do more work than both of them combined, and makes a third of what was $18 million less than what Matt Lauer was making.
And she's a minority too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So if you actually believe in the gender gap and all this other stuff, there's an example of it for you right there. Why are you not ripping apart MSNBC, liberal America? Answer the question. So those are my two candidates, the executive board for NBC and Joy Behar for just being a complete and total moronic left-wing twit on TV.
Yeah, I looked up what she's done, and she's done nothing. But she was on Good Morning America a few
Joy
times.
Behar. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Like, you are. By the way, you are absolutely a blessed human being to have such little talent and make so much freaking money. I could do your job with my eyes closed. And by the way, I'm going to toot my own horn. I'm a talented freaking guy. Why am I not making what? How do they make $28 million? He literally worked like 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time he was molesting women. But beyond the point, $28 million.
But he was also, sleep deprived in Russia after molesting those women.
I mean,
for the Olympics and everything.
These people make way too much money.
Yeah.
These shows make way too much money. How in the world can you justify Megyn Kelly making $20 million a year
for a show that's tanking?
Well, today, yeah. Well, since Hoda Kotb, is it Goda Hotby? No, it's Hoda Kotb. Sorry, Hoda. I didn't mean to get your name wrong there. Just why don't you get an American name like Jill Smith?
Just in retrospect,
now I'm just being a jerk.
Joy Behar only makes about $500,000 a year.
Only $500,000.
Yeah, it says her net worth is estimated to be in the neighborhood of $8 million.
How?
I don't know.
She has absolutely no political policy experience. She just sits there and she's a mouthpiece. Blah, 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 blah. She's not even fun to look at. I would watch Megyn Kelly. Right? Am I being sexist? Yes. I don't want to watch Joy Behar. So guess what? I don't. But yet, every time the president sends out a tweet, which, by the way, I have said many times, I don't think he should be doing that.
Right.
Anyway. Hey, who are we going with?
I say anybody that questions the president's mental stability.
Joy Behar. That's 2 votes for Joy Behar, Mr. Producer.
And I'll third that motion.
Joy Behar, congratulations. Woo! The first douche of the week for 2018. Not only do you get a nice trophy from the Earl and George show this week, by the way, you also receive a lifetime supply of Twitter characters. Congratulations for being 2018's first douche of the week. I want to close with Mad Dog Mattis' story.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, real quick, I know I've got a minute and a half, something like that. Roy Moore, very quickly, the story that keeps on giving. Roy Moore, accuser, is suing him for defamation.
Oh, wow. Wow.
She accuses him of molesting them 40 years ago, and yet she has the balls to sue him for defamation. And one of the women who accused Roy Moore of misconduct, her house has been destroyed by fire.
By arson.
Well, have suspected arson. Very quickly, Mad Dog Mattis was asked about his concerns for 2018. Secretary of Defense James Mad Dog Mattis, known for brutally honest quotes, he said, What are your concerns for 2018? He said, I don't have concerns. I create them.
And did you see where they asked him if he carried around what do they call it, the coins that you usually give to
challenge
the military?
coins?
Yeah, and he said, no, I'm saving up money to buy bombs. Yep.
Oh, that's right, because his position, he gets I don't have a SecDef coin. I never got a SecDef coin. I got a couple 4-star general coins. But Earl and George, Aged Conservative Talk, the first show of 2018 is in the books. Share it with all of your friends. Thank you guys for listening on SoundCloud and Spreaker and downloading our free mobile app, Earl and George, to go right on your phone. All of our episodes for 2017 are there. And, of course, this is a brand new year, and we will bring you all of the political nonsense with a little bit of humor mixed in every week right here. Central Time, 12 to 2, 10 to noon on Pacific. It's Earl and George. Earl, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Producer, thank you so much. Get out there and do something nice for someone you don't know, everybody. My name's George. My friend Earl. That's Mr. Producer. We'll see you next week. God bless.